Marketing yourself in any industry, especially if you're just getting started, can be so scary because you don't know what's going to be the best use of your limited time. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys how I got my first 5 clients for my graphic and web design agency when I first started 8 months ago, the exact posts and content types that led to my first interaction with these people, where I met these people at, what I would do differently, and also if you stick around to the end, you'll get a free resource with some of the scripts I use to make the initial touch points with all of these people who are still long-term partners of mine. And I'm excited to share this all with you. It works no matter what industry you're in. And let's dive straight into the video. Okay, so before we dive in and I go through the whole walkthrough, I just want to say to you guys, I think this will work regardless of what industry you are in. Personally, I am a web designer and a marketing consultant here in Columbus, Ohio. And I reached out to a lot of people here locally and also just called back on my past network. So whether it's a posting strategy or it's an outreach strategy, chambers of commerce, meetings, networking, you can apply these principles regardless of what industry you are in. And just check out what some of the people in my network have said after reading these scripts and going over this post on LinkedIn. Bruno, yo, this looks like my last 5 ways of getting clients. It's actually crazy the deals I've gotten from LinkedIn. It truly is an amazing time to be an entrepreneur. Jan, proves that you can do business while doing life pretty seamlessly. Great work. I love the ideas you share. I find similar systems help keep me accountable. Johannes, important to show up consistently and put yourself out there to increase your chances. And you guys are going to see those are going to be the biggest takeaways that we talk about as we go over all of these posts and all of these strategies. So let's dive right in. Number 5, local networking. So if you guys are not in some kind of networking chapter organization, I am in several, but I'm going to show you a little hack when it comes to local networking chapters. Is that if you guys are in a networking group or a city organization, there's usually some kind of online portal. Maybe you go and you build out your profile for your business or your personal membership, and a lot of times there is some kind of a forum where you can go on and post. So a lot of people are encouraged to do some kind of an introductory message when they first join, and a lot of these forums are dead most of the time. And this one is certainly the case for me. So right after I joined back in December of 23, so a very long time ago, I just made this post right here. Hey all, my name is Milligan and I just joined a few weeks ago. I'm 22 and admittedly a rookie to the whole world of running a business, so I can't wait to meet as many of you as possible and learn from the best. I'll be at the party, the Chamber Christmas party this Thursday. I'd love to meet you. I'm hard to miss, 6'5", blonde hair. Please come by and say hello. I'm fairly easy to talk to unless you are a Browns fan. Happy holidays and look forward to meeting you. So again, very leaned into my cards of being young, being new, being an amateur, and that's okay to do in the beginning. But there does come a point eventually, we can talk about that later, where that does come back to bite you. So in the beginning, really lean on being young and wanting to learn from others. It's also very flattering to be able to do that. Because when you position yourself as a newbie, maybe you're sacrificing credibility and expertise, but you're also getting your foot out there, you're making relationships, and you're doing it forward. And from this, I actually got 2 clients from this post, and it's very rewarding to kind of go back and see from the beginning the initial inputs that generated the outputs that lead me to where I am now. So yeah, I met 2 people at this meeting. They brought up this post. They brought up the Browns comment. And yeah, that's a really good way, an undervalued resource if there's some kind of a chamber or organization that you're a part of, to just take advantage of putting yourself out there. And, because a lot of people will be in that place, especially locally. Okay, so on to number 4 is a LinkedIn outreach, a design subscription, which has now turned into several website projects. And I want to caveat to all of these clients are still clients. And this is when I first started my business almost over 6 months ago, going full time. I'd always done freelance. But yeah, it's all these people are still partners. And I hope that validates this concept to you guys of self-marketing and self-promotion. If you put in the work and you do it the right way, it's a very long tail game. But the partnerships and the relationships you can make from it are not as transactional. A lot of times it's going to be repeat work. You're going to start to get referrals from it. And that was my strategy, and that's what's worked for me, and that's what's realized in these 5 little case studies here. But this one came up as a result of a LinkedIn outreach. Hi, came across your profile via our connection, John Hansen. Great guy. Would love to connect. Hi, Andy. Perfect timing, and I'm looking for another freelancer. We do social media graphics. Hi, Jen. We do actually samples. Yes, please send them to these. Thank you. From there, scheduled a call, and like I said, we've been working together for several months now, and she's one of my favorite to work with. So, like I said, it's very rewarding to kind of go back and see where the foundation of these things took place, and it's easy to connect the dots looking backwards. And I know like when we're marketing ourselves, when we're doing promotion, all of these small little efforts. James Clear has this great quote where he says, "Every action casts a vote for the type of person that you want to become." I view all these as casting little votes, whether it's a LinkedIn outreach, a message, a script. A big takeaway from this one would be I met John Hansen at a networking event a long time ago, and he is very prominent on LinkedIn. So if you have someone that you meet that you trust, that you guys can be allies together, then feel free to comb through their network with their permission, obviously, and mention them when you bring up initial connections, and that can go a really long way. So that's a big takeaway from that one, is to mention mutual connections and volume as well. Number 3, a warm referral, a warm outreach, and this one's probably the craziest one on the list, so there's a lot of entertainment value in this one. But number 3 is a warm referral, a friend outreach, and an email introduction for a construction company in Bluffton, logo design and branding. And the story for this one: hi, Andy. This is the message that she sent me on Instagram, and I have a graphic design account that I used back in college when I first started freelancing, and she had always followed because she was friends. This is the mother of 2 of my friends in college who I had never personally met, but she had always followed that page. And she said, "Hi, Andy, I know you've never met in person, but I'm blank and blank's mom. You went to U up with them. Their uncle, my brother-in-law, is looking to update his logo, etc., etc. Here's her Facebook page." Followed up with her, called his number, and that ended up being another project that got started by that from someone I had never met before, referring work to me. So that's the power of just putting yourself out there. And this has since led, Brooke is her name, has since sent me multiple referrals, and we are 6 to 8 months later at this point. And she just sent this message the other day after introducing me again to someone else and said, but following you on Instagram when I actually get on Instagram is what keeps you top of mind. So again, I am not crazy active on every single platform. I do the bare minimum on Instagram. I stay active. I recycle a lot of content to put on there. But if you guys have, that's why I can't recommend starting on every platform, finding which one that you enjoy the most, you get the most value out of, that there's the most ROI there for, and then leaning more into that as you go. But the more visibility you get, because not every person, depending on your industry, like I said, I'm in web design and marketing and branding, those types of people aren't always living on the same platform. So it's good to start wide in terms of content, pick which one, but then after you find the one that has the highest ROI, going balls deep, learning from that one, and continuing to grow. Okay, so on to number 2, local networking again. And I wouldn't even classify this as networking. I would just classify this one as living your life. So number 2, website design and design retainer for a local beverage business, a total chance meeting at a Panera near my home. So this is Jeff right here, and the story of how we met is we both live in Marysville, and I went to a Panera one morning to work, as I do on some mornings, and just doing my morning marketing habit on LinkedIn. I was working on a couple projects throughout the day, and he had issues with the Wi-Fi. So we, became friends through the process of just having a conversation, getting him hooked up to the Panera Wi-Fi, which can be not great, by the way. So pro tip for some of you guys. But yeah, a conversation started that way. And the biggest takeaway and Jeff has been one of my best clients, and a great friend ever since that meeting. So that's a big takeaway, is to just create visibility, whether it's working outside the house, joining a co-working space, finding a way to get your face in front of more people, and by osmosis of that, starting conversations and letting them know what you do, is very powerful. And it's an undervalued thing, because a lot of us probably work remotely. We get in our own bubble a lot. We just get into our habits of day to day, and not being in situations where we were actually meeting new people. I think that's the biggest thing, is if new people are coming across your face, your content, your vibe, your brand, that's what creates these opportunities. So a big takeaway from that one is to get out of the house. And number one, LinkedIn message. Again, a white label website design and dev for a local agency, message their owner and send a warm introduction. And this has been by far the most ludicrous, relationship I've had since starting the business full time and freelancing and starting to build the design agency. So the story behind this one, I had actually heard about Matt is the subject of this interaction and owner of this agency, but I had heard about Matt through a mutual connection. One of my friends knew him from a while ago, and I just looked up his agency. It looked like they did a lot of cool work. So followed them on LinkedIn and said, "Hey, Mr. Adams, hope this message finds you well. My name is Andy Milligan. I'm a big fan of yours. Recently moved here to the Marysville area, and my friend Corey Bott said that you were a great role model and that she looks up to you. Naturally, wanting to expose myself to as many good inputs as possible. I'd love to connect." That's the first message. And in hindsight, I'll add the caveat. I probably went a little bit overboard on the charm here. Not something I'd probably do again if I could go back in time, but I mean, hey, it worked. And then he responded to that saying, "Hi, Andy, thanks for reaching out. Corey is the best." Again, that's a big takeaway I want to bring up, is having some kind of an anchor. So some kind of mutual connection, association. We talked about earlier that earlier with my friend John. That's one of the biggest value adds when it comes to networking, is that you can mention people who know other people. So it's not just the people that you meet, it's the people that they know as well. Great timing, by the way. I'm actively looking for contractors with extensive Figma knowledge, experience, and potentially Webflow developers. If contact work with an agency, something you're interested in pursuing, we should talk soon. Regardless, I'm happy to have made the connection. So great little vibe right off the bat. Got some great connections from there. And Matt, thanks for getting in touch. Corey is literally my creative role model. I'd love to talk about setting up a time to talk about a partnership too. Your team is one of the few I have found here locally that runs a Webflow first agency and uses client first, Rebloom, etc. We could be a really good fit. Let me know when you're available and free to talk soon. I would love to have some availability tomorrow and Friday, whatever works best for you. So 2 more takeaways there. Make yourself available and also show that you did your research. So he knew that I knew what software and tools that they used, and so I was adding value to him right off the bat. And I also made myself available and made it easy for him to schedule a meeting, which was the first touch point. So research and availability. And yeah, those are how I got my first 5 clients in my business, with the posts and initial interactions that led to each one. So what are the biggest takeaways? I kind of brought up a few as I was going throughout there in the presentation, but the biggest takeaways for me, as I kind of rehash this and reformat my marketing strategy for where I'm at now in my business, and what you can use to take away to get your first 5 or maybe even your next 5 clients, is being active on multiple channels increases the likelihood of success on one. Put yourself out there, make yourself visible, and the golden equation that I kind of am adapting for this is volume plus intention times visibility equals results. So if you do a lot of volume, if you have intention, meaning you're not just sending emails, like a locked and loaded email that's not personal, maybe you hired an outside lead gen agency who's just slapping your name and brand on a cold message like that, that's going to be a detriment to results if you don't have volume. And then times visibility, so how people know, the word associations they can make. If they've seen you at other networking events, if they can put a face to your name, equals results. And branching off of on that, what are some of so these are the bare habits, the big takeaways from these strategies of reaching out and making relationships that are beneficial for business. But some of the force multipliers is content, consistency, market value, and personalization. So content, if people go to your page, if they do more research on you, they follow up on you, and they know that you're active, they know that you're forward facing and that you have a business and that you're visible, that's just a lot of social proof right off the bat. Consistency, meaning if you've been at something for a long time, people can come back to you, and it's just a really strong sign of reliability, consistency, especially if you're someone that they're going to be giving money to, business partners. Consistency is a really valuable trait to have. Market value, meaning how valuable is what you're offering at that specific touch point for them. So if you're reaching out to someone who doesn't need what you have to offer, or they're just, so like say for example, I have a general principle that I would reach out to business owners or some kind of entrepreneurial-minded person, because those are the people that need websites, need to get online. I'm not going to be reaching out to random people that don't have a business or are employed somewhere. Probably aren't the best connections for me. So people that are either marketing managers or owners or CMOs, someone that needs a website or some kind of design services. So a big thing that you guys can take into account is knowing what are the common traits of the people that have responded to you in the past and raised their hand to work with you. And personalization. So making sure every message, like we said, it's not drag and drop. It's not, cold. A lot of this stuff takes effort. And I was very transparent about that in the beginning, is that this isn't an instant, it even says right here, it's not that interesting. It's not that exciting, but it's putting into the effort. And I know it's going to be super discouraging when you're doing all of these things. You're putting all these votes out there, and they're not getting results. And especially when it's a long tail game, it can be scary to not know whether or not you're putting in the right inputs to get the outputs, because you kind of reach that valley of despair in the middle where you're doing all of these efforts, you're sending all of these messages in the beginning, and then because it's a long-term game, you're not getting those results, but the results aren't guaranteed. So you really have to maintain the faith in that time, and it's valuable to hear people, and I'm just starting to that point where you start to see the results of it on the other side, and you can go back and assess, okay, what worked, what didn't work, and I hope that's what this has been for you. So I want to thank you guys so much for just making to this point in the video. If you have gotten any value out of it so far, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know which of these scripts has worked for you. If you haven't made it this far, I'd love to give you guys my Notion database, where I have these copy and paste scripts that I use to reach out. Obviously, I tailor them, but if you want to, like I just showed you guys some of the posts and the initial messages that I sent to people, if you guys want a copy paste version where you can go in and change the names and obviously adapt the stories, because like I said, this is not cold outreach. This is not that's not what we're preaching here. But if you want to see a more copy paste method to that I use and reference when I'm making connects on LinkedIn or any other platform, then that resource will be available for you below. So that was my unsexy method of getting my first 5 clients when I started as a business owner. I hope that was valuable to you guys, and if it was, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. We upload 1 video a week. Again, my name's Andy. I'm a fractional design and marketing consultant located here in Columbus, Ohio, and I love helping business owners with their websites and their marketing strategy. So without further ado, thank you again for making it to this point in the video. Check out the resource down below, and I will see you next week.